are you ready?
I'm ready when you are.
Let's go. I also call this meeting the Coosa County Fiscal Court to order. If you would, join me in prayer, word of prayer, and we'll make place to the flag. Heavenly Father, we do thank you for the day that you've given us. Lord, we thank you for the leaders and challenges during this meeting. Lord, help us to do the things that are right in your sight. Help us to do the things that are most beneficial to this community. Lord, I pray that you be with those that watch over us and protect us here at home and abroad. Lord, we just thank you for all things, and most of all, we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ. And it's all that I do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Today we're going to begin with Bruce Ham with Fashion Wireless. Bruce, if you want to step up to the microphone, we'll turn this over to you for a minute.
Yes, sir. It's really not much for the questions. Anyway, we've been serving the county for about 11 years now. Technology's on the fast train. We've upgraded towers 3 or 4 times, getting equipment that shoots through more trees. The rain is not as big of a problem as it once was. However, there's still a lot that needs to be done. And we have a lot of customers that we would like to enhance our existing system with fiber. We're not asking for any money. We don't need grants. We run out of our own funds. And what we need from the court is permission to do for easement rights down the county roads. We're not going on telephone poles. We do go underground. And hope we don't have a lot of technical questions. Our engineers out west finishing up our right now. We have really good success in other counties like Colorado, Lyon County. So that's basically why I'm here. I'm requesting the court to grant us easement rights so we can proceed out in the county and try to get everybody kind of doing what they need.
Do you have to have something in writing from us, Bruce? Because I think, like Bobby, I mean, most of the county right away, you have to really easy.
We addressed this a couple of years ago with water companies.
Okay.
And I don't know normally how deep you put the line. That's pretty big, but we will see. What we, I'm not sure I know if Jim addressed this, it's addressed somewhere, but we asked the water district and the utilities to get to go on private property, if all possible. Not that anyone, the county, that they would put a minimum of 3 foot below the road surface.
3 foot below the road surface. So if Virginia was 2 foot below the surface, you'd have to be 2 foot.
And that way that gives us very shallow, they give us enough room to do normal.
So
that's what we're doing in Lyon County. That's the only place I can.
So you're saying this all has been addressed previously by the court with?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct.
So Bruce, what I'll do, we'll get that information, and I'll get that information to you. Because anything that you can do to help get better internet service, we're all about it.
There is a permitting process, it's just where you sign off on it. More under the road, we do, we do ask the police notified to sign off on it, and all it says is if there's damage, you'll hopefully repair anything if there's a problem.
My only suggestion would be to work with Bobby and with the water district, because they've got all the water lines, and I'll just make sure if you or you locate utilities anyway, but working with those two, you should be able to get it in without damaging anything else. But I see absolutely no problem at all with this.
Have you got a card or something with an email address on it? Because if we can get that, we'll email you all that information and get it to you. If you just leave it with Pam, and we'll we will absolutely get that information to you.
Bruce, all the roads in the county are not county roads, so you've addressed, we do have some state roads, so you have addressed.
Yeah, we have to go to another.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make certain.
Yeah, state roads is a different problem.
Yeah.
How soon are you planning on starting?
We won't start within the next 30 days. We're going to get permission. We have a lot of different areas that we're looking at. We haven't decided on exactly where we're going to start yet, but I would be happy to let the court know before we might be able to know.
Awesome. Well, we'll get you that information as far as the county right of ways. If we don't get it today, we'll get it to you tomorrow. We'll get it to you in a matter of just a day or two.
Sounds good, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Bruce. I wish you the best of luck. It's good news.
I appreciate it.
All right, gentlemen, moving on. If you had an opportunity to, review the minutes of the June 29th special call fiscal court meeting, I just need a motion and a second to approve those minutes. Motion.
Second.
Got a motion by Scott, second by Nate. Any discussion or question? All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? All right, you've got on your portal a list of roads for resurfacing. If you had an opportunity to review that, we'd need to approve this list of roads, including the flex funding for resurfacing. We take a motion and a second and then discussion.
So moved.
Got a motion by Marty, second by Myron. Any questions or discussion? Bobby, anything that you want to add to any of this? Yeah. No other questions? We just all in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? Next item is to review and approve the application for the 80-20 funding for the Hickory Flat Road tile replacement. I don't know, I haven't looked. Does that require my signature? Yeah. So we need a motion and a second to approve that funding and authorize the judge. I didn't see it on the portal either.
Yeah.
So there we go, we had no documents.
Okay, over there.
I just finished trying to.
Yeah, come to the microphone, Bobby.
I don't have a whole packet ready, but I just finished some of the information here. When you come off Hickory Flat, Rapids, on Hickory Flat, there's a dry creek bed, right now there's 3 48-inch culverts that are starting to deteriorate. I called here to make sure that we could do this on our own. And, I think I gave an estimate, probably 20,000 to 25,000. We budgeted 25,000 to 20,000 revenue coming in. I found out yesterday though that we can actually turn our labor and equipment costs to the county. So that's probably, that number may bump up some. But it's roughly 25,000 to 30,000. So that's using our labor and equipment to make it much more actual money that made it reimbursed.
So we're doing it like MOA or the state or the money.
Just like the bridges.
Yeah, 80-20 bridge.
We're replacing Macedonia Road, and working on that.
Okay.
It's most strong, that's.
Right. So moved.
Got a motion by Marty, second by Nate. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, aye? Any opposed? All right, next, gentleman, is a memorandum of understanding for the school resource officers. Most of you know, the city has pulled back from providing the SRO, and the sheriff has agreed to provide an SRO. Basically, this agreement is identical to the agreement that we previously had, only it names Simpson County Fiscal Court through the sheriff's office as provided. But from now until December 31st of 2021, there will actually be no cost to the county whatsoever because of the TSC pilot money. The school's covering that cost. Obviously, obviously, there was an agreement prior to the TSC pilot program, and once we get toward the end of, 2021, we're gonna have to go back and negotiate, some kind of agreement between the city, the county, and the school board on who will do what and how that will work. But for right now, this agreement is just for now through December 31st of 2021, and the school is basically covering the cost of the resource officer during the time that the school is in session. Of course, while school is out of session, we budgeted that salary into the sheriff's office for that, deputy to do regular duty work while school's out. But we would need a motion and a second to enter into this agreement and authorize me to sign it, pending passage by the city and the school board both. It's just city commission, we're just ahead of them in meeting process. I got Nate first and then Myron second. Any other question or discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Next is just a discussion, possible action on pressure washing bid for the courtyard brick, the sidewalks, curbs, brick landscape walls. If you take a walk around, I don't know if you look, but the pavilion out here where Melvin's at was cleaned up and it was really, really nice. Most of the brick sidewalks around the square look really, really bad. And so before you've got a bid, it'd be at the pleasure of the court whether you want to clean up the brick and the sidewalks or not.
It's only bid.
It's only bid.
Was this such a suggestion or anything, or?
This was at my suggestion after we got that cleaned up and how bad the rest of the sidewalk looks.
In comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, I walk around this corner, it's
It
a mess. That looks nice over
It
here.
looks really good now.
East side's a mess.
Oh, it's horrible.
They do know that those bricks are laid in sand, so they can't really get in there and hammer really hard on them.
Yeah.
Is that just around the courthouse area? Well, I'll make a motion.
You make a motion that we proceed with cleaning?
Yes.
So Scott's got a motion.
Second.
Myron second. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Do we have anyone here from the fire department? Bill, are you talking about this phone? Who? All right, so next on the agenda is to review and approve the fire department Jive phone system. Obviously, it's, a system that we swapped over to here at the courthouse. Pam and Nicole can answer better as to whether it's working well. I just talk on it, I very seldom answer it, but, it seems to be working okay. So Nelson, if you want to step up and
Hopefully, I'll make it short and sweet. I had Adam work a quote for us. We're currently paying, 21.15 a month. New quote is probably gonna be $94.25 a month. Seems like it's gonna be double the price, but this year, COVID, I had to see. $203.52 for go-to meeting, which is included with the new phone system. So if we have to continue that, we'll have a cost savings of that. Plus, we have to pay for a online fax service. Where, if dispatch needs to send us, we used to get our tags by fax. Now they email, but occasionally the email puts work and has fax to us. So instead of us having to fax all the tags up here, you're gonna get them. We
have the ability for it to send it through this. That would also be included. So if nothing changes with the quote, it's a difference of $314.16 over the year. When you take into effect the other two meetings that we're not advertising for in the fact line. In about 3 months, we expect 2 of the phones to be loaded. We have to have a couple of phones that are out in common areas of the department because the chief, myself, other full-time firefighters, like on Saturday when we have the volunteer crews, they need to be able to answer the phone. So we gotta put the phone out where they can get it. But I don't expect that phone to be used a lot, so it should drop down from its normal $20 a line to like $10. So we should have another $20 savings after about 3 months. As long as that happens, it's only going to be a difference of about $134.16.
Per year.
So overall, it's a better system for us. There's, on top of having the ability to 3-digit dial, right now, chief answers the phone, and it's for me or one of the other guys, you have to step out of the law and call down the hall and tell us to answer the phone. He doesn't have the ability to put his phone on him, so people can hear. With this, he can just hit a couple buttons and transfer it to us. The big thing that's going to help us, a lot of times we go out to garden permits in the city, and when we do, we usually call the person when we get there, let them know we're there. Well, I either have to hide my number on my cell phone, or everybody in the program has got my cell phone number. So this is an app that I can go to and make a call, and it appears when I'm calling the station. So that way, not everybody gets my personal cell phone. Because when I was 19 for 10 years, if they got to hold your cell phone number, they start to visit the system and call you directly, thinking this is the best method. So, there's quite a few benefits for us.
And that's the thing the guard knows, and I think once you have the ability to forward calls coming in to a cell phone.
We can forward it. It also has a digital voicemail, which we have with our phone system now. So when the phone call comes in, if it goes to voicemail, we get an email stating that we've got a voicemail, we can listen to it from our phone. But yes, we can forward phone calls to us, we can also make phone calls that appear from the station. So it kind of saves our personal cell phone number and gets thrown out there. People don't like to answer a block number or unlisted numbers. When I block my phone about 90% of the time, they will answer. You have to continue to call them. So, that's why we want to look into it. It also gives us the ability to, if we need to call off the shell, we push the 3-digit code, we call off the shell. We don't have to bother paying them and have her transfer us. It should save some of our time savings. We don't have this in the line item, but we can, even if it's free, we'll pull it from some other line item to make it part of it. The big thing is giving maintenance permission to sign a 2-year agreement. So we done the 2 years so we can get it pretty quick.
But did you want to say something, Megan?
I just say this is gonna add to our ability to connect all departments. Like another, as we move and get each location set up, it's gonna be like all family, we want to talk to the fire department, they can do it at extension. And we'll be able to connect more and more as we grow the system, we can connect between the buildings, between departments, and be a whole lot easier communication for everybody. And plus, we'll get the equipment for free, right?
I don't think you do the motion, but I don't think we're going to take it to count, so we'll take your motion as a motion for you, and then we'll get a second. So, any other questions or discussion? All right, favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, gentlemen.
All right, next, gentlemen, you got some information on your portal and then handed to you, from Miss Jessie Gross with Enterprise. She drove down from Louisville today to talk with us and brought, a gentleman named Jason, who I don't think I've met even on a teleconference, but I know Jessie has talked to, Bobby and the jailer, the fire chief and the sheriff, and we're just trying to figure out what we could do in terms of fleet maintenance and fleet management that might help us out over the years. Just the floor is yours.
Well, that's a dangerous proposition.
You remember our cue?
I know our cue. Jason was very clear with me on my wordiness, which is why in part I brought Jason, because he's a little more direct and concise than I am. But my name is Jessie, and I'm an account executive with Enterprise Fleet Management. What we do is we essentially wrap our arms around your entire fleet, from acquisition to resale, and my job is building relationships and partnerships with people and businesses and local government all over the state of Kentucky and southern Indiana. So from here, I'll go up to Tell City to go to Perry County and do a repeat. But we have over 250 customers that work with us from commercial, over 60 that work in government. And essentially our job is to drive down your costs by doing more with less. You're at such an advantage having your government buy and their incentives on the front end that you can buy a vehicle essentially with 2 years depreciation off of it. Well, queue up Jason for resale, which is an area that right now you're not able to capitalize in because there's not a lot of value or equity in your current fleet due to their age and mileage. But we're going to find that sweet spot where you have an aging, depreciating asset before it starts to ramp up on those risky repairs and higher maintenance and higher fuel. We sell the vehicle, and then that way you're generating equity towards the purchase of your next vehicle. Something that's unique for us is our funding mechanism. So right now you're paying cash, and you can still continue to do that. However, what a lot of local government are benefiting from is our open-ended lease or an equity lease. It functions a lot like a market value finance. So you have your capitalized price, your delivered price. We're going to reduce that down to a book value, sell the vehicle, pay off that balance, and have a positive to roll towards the purchase of the next vehicle to drive down that cost. And what that does is you're only paying for what you're going to use with that vehicle, where we identify its at the end of its life. Let's eliminate the high operational costs, especially in maintenance and repairs, and put things in shape on things. Get a newer, fresher, more reliable, sustainable fleet, especially for your sheriff's department. Being able to upkeep the public safety and maintain that image and being able to respond to calls is just super important for the sheriff's department, for your fire department, everyone's involved, is in need of new vehicles. And so we're trying to reduce those operational costs and put that towards acquiring safer vehicles for everyone, including your drivers. Outside of your public safety, your people in the driver's seat are going to be safe as well. I passed out, I'm going to let David talk for a second too, because retail is what makes it more useful. But I gave you this sheet, got it? I gave you the one page that's the front and back, and it says like year one. So this is just kind of a quick summary of where you're currently at. What I'd like to do is just kind of see like facts of where we've been able to help other local government. Warren County was actually a referral for this opportunity. So they're in your backyard, City of Scottsville, people are away, they just came on board, primarily for pursuit vehicles. But where we generate savings is in your other life and medium duty fleet. So that's that one pager, and then this will open up for cities more data on where we're able to find that what I call the sweet spot of resale. Specifically in the 3/4-ton trucks that are used. Oddly enough, we both looked at this yesterday just to make sure the numbers were right. At a cents per mile level for operating a 2,500 heavy-duty 4x4 pickup, it makes sense to flip it every 12 months because of the resale. You can purchase it for $25,000 when you have to pay to sell it for $28,000. so you're able to generate into the purchase of the next vehicle. Right now, you're holding a 10 or plus years, which is costing you around 53 cents a month. So you're talking about dropping that cost by 10 to 11 cents. I know it doesn't make sense sometimes for people to wrap their head around, how does it work to flip a vehicle every year, but it's because of the resale market. And that's what we look at year over year. Every year, looking at market trends, looking at Jason's own at resale, us looking at your data and what we're pulling on maintenance and fuel to help you make decisions that are going to positively, equitably impact your fleet.
And guys, so that you know too, Jesse, we give her information like on what we had spent on purchasing vehicles over the past 10 years, and then gave her what the maintenance costs have been over the past 10 years. So they were looking at purchase costs plus maintenance costs to try to figure out if we had a better fleet that we were turning, could we be ahead over another 10-year period from where we're at over the past 10 years. And I think that's what we're finding out, that if you're not hanging on to a vehicle for 10 and 12 years and paying all those maintenance costs, you're really going to come out pretty good.
Exactly. Having that replacement plan is so important and that's what we do. We're a consultant, we're the expert complete business, and we're gonna look at all things considered for your fleet, beyond just a purchase of a vehicle, which right now, and it's not a fault to you, it's, everything stops when you buy the vehicle, and then it's repair, maintenance. Well, let's look at a bigger picture of how the fleet can actually save you money. Looking at just last year alone, you purchased 8 vehicles, and then in 2010, you purchased 11, but in between there, you were only able to get 1 or 2, and it's fluctuating. So we're trying to stabilize that where your costs are predictable, your maintenance is predictable, your fuel spend is predictable, everything's budgetable. And that, I mean, especially in this environment as a result of COVID, having an improved cash flow year one out the gate is really beneficial, and I'm having a hard time adding to my calendar, keeping up with governments right now, just because everyone's in a bind, always been in a bind, ain't looking to get out of that bind anytime soon unless they have some help. I do want Jason to just speak a little bit, because he really is the person to go to for resale, because that's such a important part of this equation. I'm going to let him just kind of share a little bit about what he does, what he looks at, and his kind of value proposition to that part.
Yeah, thanks. I'll probably just give you a couple little nuggets, and then I'm much better at fielding questions, because sometimes I miss my mark on where I speak. So, Jason Boyles, I've been with Enterprise for 13 years, eight of those years on this side of the business. I have 2 primary roles. One of them, as Jesse mentioned, is the resale. So we have about 20 people locally in Louisville that target 400 dealerships in Kentucky and Southern Indiana, and we try to sell dealer direct. We do go to the auction sometimes, but we try to go directly to the dealers because it eliminates fees, and we try to capitalize on returns there. Secondly, I work with, to elaborate on the program a little bit, once we partner, Jesse would pass this account on to an account manager, of which we have 4 in our office. Everyone's local, everyone lives in Louisville, and I'll work with those account managers multiple times annually on the 200 plus clients that you mentioned, coming up with a fleet plan. So I'm kind of an executor of that deal. I'm meeting, I'm looking at the market trends, I'm looking at your maintenance, and coming up with resolutions that make sense for you guys and the current conditions. And Jesse alluded also to COVID, and right now we're doing some very outside the box things for our clients that we've not really done before, because we have access to the used vehicles, we have relationships with dealerships to get stuff secured out of stock. So having that buffer and that person also in your corner on acquisitions is huge. Resale wise, we talked a little bit yesterday about it as we put that analysis together. And truly, for government entities, because of where you buy, and to buy at 25 and sell at 28 is unique only in the commercial segment. It's really pretty common in the government sector. and we are able to continually cycle after cycle, chip away, and that next year, that $25,000 truck becomes a $22,000 truck, and we just chip away with each cycle, you know, kind of flatlining those costs and really truthfully over time lowering them so that your budget decreases a bit.
So on those vehicles, if we were to annually turn those vehicles every year, that $3,000 would roll back into our purchase power, so to speak.
Yep.
Which is different than your sheriff's fleet.
Mm-hmm.
Your sheriff's fleet is different, and you may speak a little bit more to that, but your sheriff's department is gonna work a little bit more on an island because their vehicles are operated and ran so differently, which is why having access to data and collecting that, making those decisions is so important. But your light, medium duty, even heavy duty vehicles, I mean, that's way more predictable in terms of the per mile of what we've been seeing across the country for years.
Yeah, I would agree. The thing is, people operate so many different segments of vehicles, and you can, but it's difficult to just broad brush them. You need to run your sheriff's vehicles a little bit longer. They've got a lot of aftermarket costs in there. They have completely different applications than your 3/4 ton, which are gonna have a totally different application than your heavy duty trucks that have a boom lift on the back. But having someone, again, to split those out and make recommendations, use the word consultant, which I always appreciate when they use, because that's ultimately what it is. It's your fleet. You guys are gonna do what you want, but we wanna bring you the best data and the best recommendations that we can, and it's difficult to broad brush the fleet, and oftentimes that's what we see. It's, hey, 10 years, we're gonna run them 10 years, or that's arbitrary, but whatever the number is, where we can really hone in and find savings and efficiency by looking at the fleet individually.
Joe, do you have a question?
I do. Next time out the sheriff's vehicles, won't get the jail vehicles, they're just like, there's a lot of miles. We probably put more miles on ours because we try to caution them where they're looking low for with it just working less than home transport. So our mileage is going up, and I know you check on the mileage on our vehicles. The other question is, we have equipment in there. When we leave, I know the sheriff and the jail, we outfit pretty much the same as far as packages. Is this part of the lease? Y'all do the packages, and then the next question is, if you do, and we have a malfunction on something, we have something local that we go get fixed, or y'all go down and take care of what, because we have our license for things out, you know.
And that actually uncovers another topic that I meant to bring up and didn't. So, yes, we can handle all of that upfit. We, in most cases, when we sell vehicles, we're going to decommission those vehicles. So I don't know if it's of interest to you guys to take that back and sell it, or, you know, reuse it for another cycle if it's still up to spec, you know. That's all fine. We have several different vendors that we use for upfit. If you guys have someone that you love and want to use them, we'll just use them.
I know there's a part of our department using the same guys, I know pretty much it's really easy to work with, we say cheap.
We're really close to LW, we went tonight, yesterday, several of our meetings.
So we got all that established, and we almost prefer that, because you guys have that ongoing relationship with it's new, obviously, for us, and did that address all your questions?
You're right on that.
Okay, and then the second thing I wanted to add is I spoke to the decommissioning. Everything's turnkey, so any new deliveries or aftermarket that's set up, your vehicle's gonna show up and your vehicle's gonna show up turnkey. We handle all the logistics. Now, you guys will have to help us oftentimes on the specs on the aftermarket and all that, but we facilitate that.
They come with the strike package, everything on it to our
You pull up and your person can get in and go off your own specs, so.
And we work with people that, in your community, a lot of times those local relationships are so important. So when it comes to, especially like equipment and graphics, if you have a vendor, we work with them, or we can set it up and go through, you know, things for maintenance, or we want to maintain your local relationships as much as possible.
So guys, here's what I think we should do or need to do today. I want to bring up the point, Nate asked me about something here. Yeah, are we entering in any length of time? There's no term to an agreement. We can get in, we can get out anytime.
Right.
If we don't think it's benefiting us, or it doesn't look like it's working, or for whatever reason, we're able to, for a lack of a better way to say it, we're able to jump ship anytime we want to. So I think what would be good right now is if you guys have any questions that would help you make a decision, let's let Jessie and Jason hear those questions so she can get that together, get those answers back to us.
Most of these vehicles on here are just for the sheriff's department, right? Cause you're talking about F-250, there's not an F-250 even listed on here.
I think he said most of the vehicles that he's looking at on there are for the sheriff's department.
Is that correct? Well, there's more than 16 vehicles at the jail in the sheriff's department.
I'm looking at F-250 there.
Yeah, but we're not talking about replacing every vehicle in the very first year.
No, this is a phased-in
This
program.
should be phased in, like what you would replace, and then you would go through.
Is there a minimum for units?
I think it would behoove, just from my experience, the larger chunk that you can buy off on the front end, the more your operational costs are gonna go down. You could, in all fairness, you could do what you're doing right now and get what you did last year. You could get 8 vehicles and you would still be way in the green on your maintenance. I would say doing less than 3 you're not gonna see a difference in what you're doing. And especially given the age of your pursuit vehicles. I'm gonna actually lump jail and sheriff all into one because of how they're used. But, to do a minimum of 3 is where you'll see some impact. Year 1, it's really up to what your budget is, and I do want to add before we go into any more. Jason spoke to it a little bit, and then Judge Barnes spoke to it a little bit as well. But we look at this every year, so if your budget changes, there's no commitment in terms of, oh well, we signed up to do a plan where we do 4 this year, 5 next year, whatnot. Like we get it that your money is fluctuating and different things happen and we can work with you on that, but we're also going to make recommendations to say, this is where you're going to get the most bang for your buck and this is your long-term plan.
Well, money is the issue.
Yeah.
And, some years we can do more than others.
Right.
And I don't feel comfortable of getting into a binding contract where we're mandated that we've got to purchase, lease X amount of units a year.
Right.
Yeah, it
Oh, no,
doesn't
there's
work that
nothing
way.
like that at all.
So
No, we
we
had
wouldn't get
customers
rid of
this year
all
have to say we
no,
have to get
right.
rid of vehicles that we can't take possession
Of
of.
course, our jail vehicles, very content. I don't think that you guys use them in a pursuit. So,
Not that sheriff's call.
pardon me?
Not that the sheriff's call. They handle their business. We don't have to do pursuit, we do travel, long distance travel.
His mileage is gonna be drastically different, and
Of
that's
course,
what we'll look
those
at.
vehicles will perform differently
Exactly,
than a vehicle that's used for pursuit.
exactly, yes.
In that same statement, the sheriff's truck and the jail truck are the same due to the price break that we get from the state. I mean.
Yeah, this won't be something you're gonna fix in 1 year, Myron, and you're not gonna be obligated to anything.
No, but when you're looking at, just what we're looking at on the portal right here,
Yeah,
when you're looking at 16 and 20 vehicles, I realize that's a sample.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And in our sheriff's department, we do have several vehicles that are relatively new, low mileage, if you will.
Right.
And so I'm sitting here thinking, here we've got these newer vehicles, but we're looking at 16, 20 Durangos,
Mm-hmm.
And, I think that the reason of our pickup truck sales, purchase of pickup trucks was that the resale value was much higher on a pickup truck than they're probably gonna be on the car or even the SUV.
Right.
So, I just take it all the same.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and these are all valid points, and that's to Jason's point earlier, you can't treat your fleet with one broad brush, and that's where looking at all those things considered, what type of vehicle, what's the application of the vehicle, what equipment does it use, what mileage is it going, how often is it used, is it a full vehicle, how old is it? All of these things should go in and be decisions, and again, not your fault, but that's a lot to consider, and what I've digested so far, which Nathan did a great job of giving me year over year what your maintenance and fuel is by department. Just cutting that in half is going to make a huge difference by having a fresher fleet, but it's going to take looking at all of those factors to be able to make those decisions. And a lot of this, depending on where you find the starting point, of how many vehicles you start with and which department they're coming from, depending on that, then you look at the next year of, well, which vehicles went higher mileage than what we thought they were gonna do? Or do we need to cycle more early? Is there an opportunity where we're gonna get more in resale now versus later? Looking at those things every single year. I like meeting people and I love coming to meetings and making friends, but I also like handing it off to, Justin Newberry. He wasn't able to come today, but he would be your account manager, and he's held accountable with 2 meetings where one's like, tell me about this, but this is what Jason oversees. It's his report card. It's like a fleet report card where we give you guys a report card on your fleet, you give us a report card on how we're doing, and then we do a planning meeting to look at everything, to look at your budget, look at what the data says for your vehicles, look at what they did last year, look at what we want to predict where they'll be in the future, just to make those decisions.
She's spot on that. The planning meeting typically happens, as she said, once a year, and it's different for you guys because of your fiscal year and our commercial plans, obviously, but ideally, we want to meet one and say, hey, we think you need to do X amount of cars, here's the data to back that up, and then we want to get those vehicles on order as soon as we can, because delivery times or lead times right now are tough, but it's a proactive component so that you're not spinning your wheels trying to get graphics and lights, and we've got them in the backlog already.
Yeah, I just think, guys, that it would be, I think it's a great idea to try to get our fleet across the board, not just the sheriff's vehicles, but everywhere, to where, I mean, it's, every year, it seems to be this way. You go through, and this one needs a vehicle, that one needs a vehicle, and, we've got 80,000 mile truck with bumpers rusting off of it that the emergency management guy's driving, and we're saying, now we can't get a vehicle. I just think it'd be a really great idea if for the same money, I mean, if you take a look at what we've spent over the past 10 years, you could put this fleet together and rotate it out, and over the next 10 years, you wouldn't spend any more money than we spent the last 10 years. The only difference would be you would have good vehicles, and you wouldn't have to worry about what you could and couldn't do every year if you could get those costs equalized. So I go back to, if there are specific questions that you have that will help you make a decision, that's what Jesse and Jason need to know, so you can have that to be thinking about and processing before we meet again.
And you did say that they do come equipped with everything that we need.
Come equipped the way we expect them.
I love these guys to death, trying to get details on specs. I'd make one maybe.
And there again, it's not like you're signing even a 1-year contract. You're just signing an agreement to do this. If it doesn't work, then hey, we're done.
And it would be no different than what you're already doing. You just pay off the balance.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Eric, you have anything you had said?
I got one more question. Are we zero to a specific, are we zero to a specific brand of vehicle?
No.
Okay, another thing.
We'll tell you which manufacturer would be cheaper, but at the end of the day, some people prefer Ford over Chevy and that.
It seems like we're turning towards Dodge, and that's fine, and that's a good product. But we got 2 things that are Chevrolet, and they have those deal inserts, or the sale inserts that we use. They're $15,000 a piece.
Yeah.
So do y'all take, say we get on the fleet, do y'all take our sales in vans, or do we pull those out and reuse them into another bank?
You can pull them out or reuse them and work it and do it from there, or is that up to you?
Compatible,
We're not gonna recoup your money off that $15,000 purchase that we have already done, and we done it twice, we got $30,000 in equipment.
the reuse is gonna depend on the compatibility of the van, right? I mean, the age and all that stuff, but I don't know what typically happens with that equipment. I mean, I don't know if you would resell it or if you would just feel better or not. But I'm not gonna do anything with it, just frankly, I'm gonna throw it in as it is, and
You can sell it on a deal or you can do whatever you want.
Those are the only two questions really that I have, as far as.
Do y'all have any questions that y'all want to get to them? For what?
I'm saying, so they would put like first year package together for everybody to actually get hard figures, right?
Yeah.
And then you decide what you want. And that would be part of your,
So,
you can do it first. You can put a package together for every department the first year, look at it, and then decide.
Yeah, yours is gonna be kind of
but
separated.
what he's asking is, will you put together a specific year one package just for us and the vehicles?
Yeah,
And we can look at, rather than just looking at, like, here's cost savings, here's this, look at, here's vehicles we propose to start with and see what those numbers actually do.
kind of, and this is something I don't think we sent out in the budget pool, that's kind of what you're referring to, that one way you can populate based on the number and the quantity. Do you remember what I'm talking about, like that long spreadsheet?
Yeah, but I never could get it to change.
Okay, but yes, I can do that, so that way, essentially what the budget tool is, here are all the vehicles we've identified to replace. You can plug in your quantity, so that way it'll impact your budget, but it also factors in equity at the end of each term, so like the 2,500. My recommendation is to put them every year. I guess, let me ask you a question. Is everyone comfortable with that? If that's the recommended split time for a 2,500, are you comfortable with me proceeding with that?
Well, my thing is, if we are able to pursue this, I would say that we move the vehicles in whatever manner is the most equitable to move them.
Let's do it then.
What the cost of it replace everything the first year.
Are you talking about your current vehicle? Yeah, so I think we were looking for your fleet, I believe that there were 3/4 left. So, and we don't have to do all of this, but that was the out-the-gate recommendation. But we can work with that, that's what the budget tool allows us to do, is you put in the cost of each vehicle, you consider the equity at the end of each vehicle, you update the quantity, and that's gonna show you what your overall total all-in budget year one will be. And that's stereotypically what, when I come to these meetings, this is more of an information help. My question at the end is, what do I need to do to help me feel better and feel good about moving this forward? And so I'll go back to my homework and put together the numbers, here's what it's actually going to cost, and we work to, within your budget, figure that out.
All right, that sounds good. No other questions, gentlemen?
Everybody feels great?
Don't know about that.
Well, if it's okay, I'm gonna pass out my business card and, feel free to email me, call me if you have questions come up. I know it is a lot to digest, but at the end of the day, you're able to do so much more for so much less. Why wouldn't, and it's at no risk to you, why wouldn't you put your people, your drivers and safe vehicles, why wouldn't you give your public the highest level of dependability and safety that you could? And so that's always my, if you want to call it a pitch, sometimes they fail, that's my pitch, but, at the end of the day, it's more with less. Keep doing what you're doing, let's be safer and smarter about it and make informed decisions. If you have questions, here's my card, And then also in that packet, there are some references that I really, Jason and I can stand up here and look cute and do all this stuff and sing and dance. We're real good at that, but, where the rubber meets the road, is when you're able to talk to people that are using the program. So please utilize our references, and I'm gonna put the jail in contact with people that have the van so that y'all can feel good about that as well.
All right, Jesse, thank you very much. Jason, thank you. We'll be getting back with you. All right, gentlemen, if y'all had an opportunity to review the budget transfers, we need a motion and a second to approve those transfers.
Any on the board.
Pardon?
Ain't seen any on the board.
Do what? Oh, is there not any?
Hey, well.
Okay. Do I need to proceed with the rest of these? Okay. Thank y'all. All right, so then we do need, and I don't have a dollar amount in here. Do we know this dollar amount in total? The cash transfer from general to the jail, 40,000. And obviously, this is the new budget, it's a budgeted item. But,
It's just payroll.
well, yeah, and it's pending whether we get the cash, the Class D money before the end of this week, which we're hoping to do.
Didn't we just do a 30-something thousand last week?
Yep.
Do we use all of it?
Because I want to get us down to a $5,000 balance if we had to use it for payroll. Because obviously, we have payroll instead of 30 and not 55 yet.
Yes, you was on a financial over 100,000 in the red.
Yep. Myron, did you make a motion to approve that?
Yeah.
We need a second.
Second.
Second by Nate. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next, gentlemen, if you had an opportunity to review the claims, we just need a motion and a second to approve those claims. Motion by Nate. Second by Myron. Any question or discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, next is the June 30th, 2020 financial statement. We just need if you've had an opportunity to review that, we need a motion and a second to approve the financial statement pending audit and authorize the judge and the county treasurer to sign that statement.
Second.
Motion by Myron, second by Scott. Any other questions, discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? I don't hear everyone say aye, but I assume when I say any opposed and no one chimes in, that means everyone is an aye.
Or we choose to abstain, we could ask to abstain.
Yes, if you do choose to abstain, we would like to hear that. All right, that gets us through to reports. We need to move through these pretty quickly. I don't have a lot to report. The main thing I'll share is our report from the Barren River District yesterday as it relates to COVID-19 is in the Barren River in the 8-county Barren River Health Department District. There have been confirmed 2,462 cases, 1,809 have recovered, and there have been 64 deaths. Here in Simpson County, we are at 82 confirmed cases with 64 recovered, and then unfortunately 3 passed. Which means that currently there's only 15 active cases in Simpson County. You know, here's the good thing about, I'll just say that I believe that God is watching over us, because here's the reason I say that. If you take a look at Simpson County, and you go to every county around us, Logan, Warren, Allen, Sumner, Robertson, all the way around us, they're all in the hundreds and hundreds of cases. Warren County, obviously 1,650, and we're at 82. It's in God's hands. I'm not jinxing it. I'm not. That's really all I've got. Marty, you have anything? Nate?
Yeah, the Parks and Rec Board met yesterday, and some of the things that we talked about was coming up with a 5 to 10 year vision of the park, where we want to see the park at in about 10 years from now. So we're gonna submit our own ideas, and then put them all together, and then we're gonna come up with some things that we want to see change out there at the park.
Okay.
Since urban is growing, we want the park to be more happy with our community and with anybody else that's coming through town.
Very good.
And, the playground will be opening up soon. There's no specific date yet, but we're making arrangements for the playgrounds to be opening up, because some of the surrounding counties, like Warren and they have already opened up their playgrounds as we speak. And the last but not least, there's a organization out there called REACH. REACH stands for Racial Equality Through Action and Community Health. They're a group that has been formed now to help different organizations around town, and they will be taking on, as right now, a portion of Lincoln Park to like some of the ground that's not being utilized right now, and they're looking at beautifying it, maybe something like a walking park, a place where people can come also to relax, and maybe have like programs out there. Also, that's what they're looking at to do with this portion of Lincoln Park right now. And they're gonna come out with more information to us here in the near future.
Very good.
And that's all that I have.
All right, thank you. Scott, do you have anything?
Sir.
Myron?
Yes, sir.
Bobby, you have any, let's go, Bobby, on where you, I've just seen you. Do you have anything to share? Jailer? Sheriff? Deputy, Chief Deputy Sheriff? Bill said he did, he's good. Counselor, I overlooked you, and I'm sorry.
Overlooked him too. No.
No?
I don't have anything, no. I have it always easy to say. Tax sale is next month.
All right. Then I do need to have a motion and a second for executive session, for discussions of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the public agent. Who made the motion? Nate made the motion, Marty second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? We will move to the